I can't believe you haven't heard this before. That's right. 90% of the people who are going to tune into this promo deal, this introduction, have never heard of the secret formula that is vital to your success as a freelancer, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a leader, as someone seeking to make your mark in the career that you have, somebody who wants to make your mark and make good friends and influence others. If you don't know this formula, you will not be successful. And if you don't use it well, you will be in trouble when it comes to making your mark. So join me. Now, you see, to be successful, you have to know this formula. The second thing you're going to have to learn is you have to learn what it is you want out of life. Only 3% of the population knows who they are and what they want. And if you're one of those 3%, it's going to go much easier for you. And this will help you. Because then the next thing you have to know is not only this formula, you have to know what you want, but then you're going to have to discover what you have to give to others to get what you want. And that's what this class and this course is all about. My name is Stan. I have a long-time career as a teacher, a broadcaster, a marketer, a business success performance coach and mentor, and I'm going to take this short and brief course because I know you're busy, and I'm going to hopefully change your life and the way you do business by teaching you the power and the possibilities of this secret formula. Hope you'll stick with me. I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll finish the course and be successful. There you are. You just saw the formula in bright, bold red letters. Let's remind ourselves. A-I-D-D-A. AIDDA. Do you know what that means? Do you know what it's all about? Again, it's almost malpractice that people have gone through school, university, college, oftentimes graduate school, and they've never been taught this simple formula which is vital to your performance and your persuasion and your success. And I'm going to try and help you understand how it works. Now, very simply, this stands for the words you have to go through whenever you're making a presentation. I told you I was a broadcaster, and years ago I learned this formula. I've now expanded on it to something somewhat unique and at least a unique application, but it's been around for a long time and it's been modified and enhanced. But ever you see a commercial, when you watch one of those great commercials on the Super Bowl, as I oftentimes say, what if you had the opportunity to give a 60-second commercial about your life and your business to 130 million people? What would you say? Well, let me tell you this. Every day, in every way, if you are in the freelance, entrepreneur, business, a career which you're trying to promote yourself, if you're trying to move, make a difference, you are giving commercials every day of your life. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. This is Broadcasting 101. Everybody today must learn how to be a radio and television broadcaster. And here's how it goes. As they taught me at the BBC, everybody in the world is doing something else. Your job as a radio announcer is to stop them. They're not waiting to hear your message. You have to stop them. And you have to, you have to get their attention. Now, here's the point. You have 3 to 5 to 7 seconds to get a person's attention. That's right. If you have the opportunity to speak and make your case if you don't get their attention in 3 to 5 seconds, guess what begins to happen? So I'm going to ask you this. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to suggest 3 ways. Just as I said, a shocking statement. I can't believe you don't know this. A second way is, did you know? A shocking quote. I heard this one the other day. That's right, the truth will set you free, but you'll be miserable first. Or the most powerful one of all, let me tell you a story. I don't care whether it's a PowerPoint presentation, a sales pitch, you always have to understand that you, first of all, profoundly and powerfully have to get their attention. Think about that. Now, once I've gotten your attention, now I'm sitting here doing my broadcasting, doing my commercial, and I know that every last one of those persons has what I call that click and switch. They can turn me off, change the channel, change the station anytime they want. And it's obviously now a commercial, and they're going to be inclined to go and do something else. Even though if I may have gotten their attention, how can I keep their interest? So the next stage I have to move to, I have to get their interest. I got their attention, but okay, now, again, what can I say that will keep them interested? Did you know that in 5 years, the auto industry as we know it may disappear? Now, I've even got your attention, but now you say, well, what does he mean by that? I've got your interest. Now, this formula is vital. How do you get their attention? And then once you've got their attention, how do you keep them interested? Now, this means that you have to know, and I find this happens all the time, who are you talking to? I have worked with thousands of people who are creating messages and speeches and all kinds of material, content, and they don't have a clue as to who they're trying to connect with. And we had a saying in broadcasting, if you try and reach everybody with everything, you will reach nobody with nothing. So there you go. Attention, interest. Now that's vital in knowing the secret formula. Okay, now we have to go on to the double D's. A, I. Got that? D, D. Now, what does the double D stand for? Well, very simply, and I'm going to kind of give you a little story. I remember years ago when I was able to buy my first nice car. I couldn't buy it new, but I was able to buy a Lexus automobile. And what happened is that as soon as I got it, my wife took it away and she started to use it. And then one day, she told me that the blinker light, the turn signal had gone out and she wanted to get it fixed. And I said, well, you know, wait till the weekend, I'll have time. I can do it myself. I can go down to the auto repair shop and get a $3 or $4 light bulb and I can take it in and take care of it. She says, no, I want it taken care of now. Well, let me tell you, when she went to the Lexus dealership, she did not get that light for $3 to $4. And some of you know that what happens is this. They walked in, as she drove in, and they said, because they knew from the record, welcome to the Lexus experience, Mrs. Hustad. Oh, how they knew my name. That's wonderful. How can I help you? And I said, we'd be glad to take care of it. Right now, right now. That would be nice. Oh, Mrs. Hustad, would you like to sit in the waiting room and have some chocolate chip cookies, some nice coffee, and there's copies of some nice magazines there. Help yourself. Oh, that would be nice. And then, as she's walking away, the gentleman comes up and says, Mrs. Hustad, would you like me to wash the car for you? Oh, that would be nice. And then, when it was all said and done, even though she paid a whole lot of money for that service, not the $3 to $4 that would have cost me to put the bulb in myself, she drives out and says, oh, that was nice. What you want to do is to get to the point where you're painting a picture where as people hear the story, they see pictures and they say, that would be nice. Because the first D is desire. Attention, interest, desire. See, what you're trying to do is get people to the point of saying, that would be nice. Now, whether you are a person trying to sell a product, or whether you're perhaps a political leader trying to sell an idea, if you're an entrepreneur trying to sell a dream, what happens is people say, I would like that. That would be nice. That would be good. Now, I want you to see every effective commercial in that light is at some time you say, that would be nice. That would be nice. And what you're saying is, I desire something. I desire that. That's the key to sales, marketing, persuasion, to leadership, to getting people to do what you would like them to do, is what they want is somebody who will do something nice for them. Something that would be nice. And so, do you see where we're going with this? Now that you've got them to a state of desire, you have to help them decide. Yes, you should have this. You should believe this. You should follow this. In effect, something happens where it may not be immediate or right then, but as I say, what happens is they mentally raise their hand. I want that. I want that. I've decided that I want that. Sign me up. That's the expression. You want them to sign up. Now, we say sign on the dotted line. Well, that's not really what we're talking about yet, because that's kind of the next step. But inside, they decide to actually go for it. I want to buy that. I want to get that. I want to have that. I want to experience that. I want to be involved in that. I'm in. Sign me up. So what happened is they went from desire to understanding that there's something they have to do. They have to decide and do something, and they raised their hand. There you are now. Attention, interest, desire, and decision. And unless we can get people to the point of desiring a change, desiring something new and different and something they don't have, a change in their situation, and then helping them get to the point where you show them that they can have that desired thing, raise your hand. Attention, interest, desire, decision. Which of course now leads us to the last one, another A. Now, here we go with a little joke, okay? This is a trick question, all right? You'll see that it's a trick question right away, because here is the question. There were 3 ducks sitting on a log, and 2 of the ducks decided to jump in. How many ducks are left? You say, what? 1? No, 3. You see, they only decided to jump in. They're still on the log. Yes, they decided. They raised their feathers, they raised their hand. Who wants to jump in? We do. Well, we all know, and when it comes to marketing and sales, the CTA, the call to action, that's what you have to do now. And not only do you have to call to action, you have to tell them very specifically what they have to do. I was working with a group one time, and they did this incredible presentation, and they finished up, and I said to them, I stood up on behalf of the group. It was a great cause. And I said, well, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to pray for you? Do you want us to give money to you? Do you want us to encourage you? Do you want us to recommend your service and your organization to other people? What do you want us to do? And the person looked at me and said, oh! And it was obvious that he hadn't thought about that. And he told a wonderful story. And even though he wasn't trained in it, he had accidentally done some of the very first steps of attention, interest, and desire. But he was weak on the decision, and he had no action step at all. So, when you do your 1-minute commercial, when you do your Super Bowl commercial, your sales pitch, your pitch for funding, your Kickstarter, your fundraiser, your political presentation, my friends, you cannot be successful as person of influence in the world. If you want to influence people, if you want people to do what you'd like them to do, follow you, buy from you, promote you, you have to know the formula. First of all, you have to know what you really want, and then you have to figure out what do you have to give people in order to get what you want. And that's part of how you then frame your attention, interest, desire, decision, action. Go to www.stanhustad.com and receive your free gift. Call 1-800, write in, go down to, tell me specifically what I have to do, what action I have to take to get the desires of my heart and mind and spirit that you so cleverly and creatively had rise up within me. How do you do that? Well, now you see, this is big and important stuff. And this is why, as I said to one guy when I was working at a sales conference for an insurance company, I said, how many of you have had sales training? Raise your hands. Of course, everybody had had extensive sales training. I said, how many of you have ever been taught this formula before? AIDDA. And there was a kid who raised his hand and said, well, it was similar. I heard it. And I said, where did you learn it? And he said, well, I was in broadcasting school. I was a disc jockey for 5 years. What every good disc jockey and radio teacher and broadcaster knows is what everybody should know. And I then kind of said, now I know why you were smiling. Because everybody else was really eating it up. But of course it was rather just a reminder to him. And of course I discovered that this young person who was just new to the business was doing quite well. Because he had learned the secret formula for getting people's attention. He knew that, as I say in radio and broadcasting, you're always trying to buy the next 5 minutes. You're always trying to keep people there for another minute, another 2, another 5, whatever. How do you buy 5 minutes? So, there we go. Attention, interest, desire, decision, action. And now you know the secret formula. How about that? Now, that's going to lead to our final little thought here, and I'm going to give you an assignment. Something to do, an exercise, because every course, even a good short course like this, which, by the way, it's not so short, because you know what? You should listen to it 3 times. That's right, 3 times. If you really want to learn and understand this, listen to it 3 times. Every time you'll hear something new and a new idea will come to you. Okay? But now, let's get our assignment, our project. We're going to be one of those few people who actually take action. As one of my mentors said, Stan, remember, taking action is one of the rarest qualities in life and business today. Wow. Think about that. As I used to say on late night radio, just let that sit on your head for a while. Taking action is one of the rarest qualities in life and business today. Well, now, your assignment, your project. Have you thought a little bit about that statement? Action is one of the rarest qualities. One of the entrepreneurial shows that I oftentimes watch on television, the leader of The Prophet says, entrepreneurs are not dreamers, they're doers. In effect, the world is full of dreamers. As I've pointed out, 97% of the population is kind of just dealing with the day, trying to figure out how to make it to the next day, and then hopefully get to the point where they have a secure retirement, whatever that is, and if it even exists anymore. So, how do we encourage people to take action? Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to be people of action, people who actually go ahead. One of the lessons was taught to me by my mentor. In fact, I remember he was a teacher, and when you walked out of his door, I know this is the academic world where people are talking about ideas and they love to do BS sessions and coffee, all that type of stuff, lots of conversation. But this professor had a little sign on the wall just outside of his door, and it just simply was Management 101. You know what the sign said? Well, what are you going to do about it? You've had this conversation with the professor, you've talked, you've gotten all kinds of ideas. What are you going to do about it? All right, what has happened now is that you've had this short course for busy people. You've learned a little bit more about what it takes to be successful. You have to know the secret formula. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually produce a commercial. I want you to assume, and I have a whole course on this which will help you in much more detail if you want. I want you to assume that someone has bought you a commercial. Some of you are looking for a job right now, or a change of career, or you want some change in your life, and so you're trying to sell you. Remember, when you are out looking for a job, you are actually saying to the man or woman there, buy me. Now, do you want $60,000 in a salary? Well, what you're saying is, $60,000 plus benefits plus whatever you're saying is, buy me for $80,000, and they're liable to say is, why should I pay $80,000 for you? I could buy a real nice car, maybe a nice boat for $80,000. Why should I buy you? Think about that. All right? Now, with that in mind, you're going to have to finally come to the point where you are in a position to sell yourself or to sell your product. And you've got maybe 60 seconds. Maybe you've got 2 minutes. You haven't got much more than that. Maybe 3 if you're really good. Write a commercial. If you don't produce it on video, and by the way, just take your iPhone and have someone do a video of you. I want you to write and think through a 1-minute commercial where you sell you. And then all of you have some service, a product, or stuff that you do. Now, sell your service. Sell your stuff. Sell your product. Stuff or service or product. I want you to write a commercial, and I want you to start using it, and then I want you to present it, and I want you to share it with friends and ask for their review of your commercial. That's what I want you to do. And if you do this class, go through it 3 times, and if you do this project, I guarantee you, you will look at life, business differently. And when you do life and business differently, you will find that you will achieve different results. And that's what you want, different results. That's why you're taking this class, because you want in your life and your career and your business different results. And you will not know what it takes unless you know that you have to do the secret formula. You have to know it, you have to do it, and you have to perform it. I wish you all the best with your new knowledge and understanding. Let's go out and sell more good things to the world that badly needs you and the good things you bring to it. Attention, interest, desire, decision, action.